before the fight, filmed right here in Albion at the iconic ProCam Studios. ProCam for all your audio and visual needs. My co-host, as always, Shotgun Shannon O'Connell. Shannon, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Looking forward to talking boxing today.
Tszyu vs Spark, the No Limit Promotions fight. A huge fight. Let's get right into it.
So first up, we had the vacant AMBF super flyweight title with Lynn Sandstrom and Nat Thrills. Nat took the fight on late notice. Great fight, exciting fight. Not a whole lot of skill involved, but it was a fight that I think fans would have liked to have seen. Personally, I was happy with the result because I just feel like neither girl deserves a shot at a belt that prestigious right now in their career, and these belts seem to be just getting handed out to anybody at the moment. So I was happy with the draw, but I personally think if I was Nat, I wouldn't have been happy with the draw.
Quite an entertaining little fight, a scrap to start with, as you said. Yeah. But look, the draw coming away there, so neither girl getting the title. But look, hats off to both girls for a great card to be fighting on.
And I guess as well, it makes for a great rematch, which, you know, girls struggle to get fights, so there's a fight right there.
From there, we move to Sam RC, Cesar Amonsant. Sam RC, 13 fights, a little bit of time off. Cesar Amonsant, very experienced. An impressive start for Sam RC. First round stoppage there, and then calling out just about everybody. Brubaker, Andrew Hunt, Stevie Sparks. It seems like Sam RC's back. Cesar
Amonsant, obviously at the end of his career, but he's dangerous. He's always, I feel like, put him in the ring in 5 years' time, there's danger there. Sam RC was amazing. He looked awesome. I don't think anyone expected him to come back that strong that quickly.
And with him coming back, there's not going to be too many easy fights for him in the welterweight division.
No, especially with all the names he's called out straight up. So there's some really great fights to be made there. There's another one in the mix.
The next bout on that card was Wade Ryan and Troy O'Malley. The rematch there for the IBO International belt. Obviously a head clash between the two boys with the southpaw and the orthodox stance. But looked too strong for O'Malley in the end.
Wade Ryan's somebody, I think, to look at his record, no one thinks highly of him because he's got quite a few losses, but he's improving with every fight. I think he's dangerous.
It looks like Wade's getting a little bit stronger towards the end of his career.
Yeah, for sure. I guess, you know, people might be looking at him like a stepping stone with his record, but I think he's a very dangerous stepping stone. So.
Well, we always know Camel has been trying to call out either one of those boys for a long time, but he's just announced his fight with Wes Kappa, so we'll see what happens in the second half of the year. Then we go straight through to Liam Wilson versus Joe Noine. Hadn't fought in 2 years, did the 2 weeks quarantine, but always a big ask for Mr. Damage Liam Wilson, you know?
For sure. I mean, you would think that definitely a learning experience, but, you know, I got into a couple of social media wars about it. People are putting him down because he stepped up, he took a risk and he didn't come off. But people would have put him down if he beat Noine. People would have said, oh yeah, but Noine was in quarantine. People would have put him down if he fought someone easier.
We've been screaming for international opponents.
Absolutely.
This is the first one that got brought over to our shores since the COVID breakout. You know, No Limit bringing over an international opponent, a credible one at that. Liam Wilson, obviously going to learn a lot from this fight. He's only going to get better.
Absolutely. I think that he would have learnt more from that loss than he would any easy win. I said that publicly and 100%, like, they know now what they need to work on. If he just kept killing everyone, then they wouldn't have known what they needed to work on. They wouldn't have known where his flaws are.
He got dropped early in the round, composed, seemed to come back. Phil Austin there, keeping a close eye on him. He did compose, he boxed back. But then as we thought he was starting to have a bit of a momentum swing, he got caught again, and then with the second knockdown, and then stopped, in the 5th round by TKO. Phil Austin had seen enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Phil did it was a good call stopping Liam when it got stopped. He wasn't going to win the fight on points, so there was no need to keep going anyway.
Back to the drawing board for All-Star Boxing Academy there. Benny Harrington and Liam Wilson, we're sure they're going to put the work in where it's needed and going to come out better for it. The main event, Stevie Sparks stepping up, 6 days notice, against a very strong Tszyu.
Stevie had a crack. I mean, everyone said, like, you know, people sort of ummed and ahed, like, why Stevie? I think out of the names that they put out there of who was going to be offered the fight, to look at them, Stevie was going to have the biggest crack, and he did.
He absolutely did. He came out banging from the very get-go. First round, he kind of kept it a little bit competitive. Second round, he ate a little bit there and could start feeling the power from Tszyu. And Look, one of the greatest things we've seen in Australian boxing, the old ice bucket trick at the end of the second round to get a little bit of extra time there from Brendan Smith. Obviously an accident. But look, Tim was obviously a little bit upset about the whole thing. He'd never seen anything like that before, but very entertaining for Australian boxing.
Absolutely. Like you don't get much more boxing smarts than Brendan Smith. He knows all the tricks, so good on him.
And Tszyu getting the Commonwealth title out of that one, being sanctioned, and also the WBO global title there. We saw Danny Lee from the WBO there getting the strap around Tim's waist. But yeah, it was a nice belt.
It was nicer than my Commonwealth belt. I want a refund.
Hey, you're talking to the wrong guy. But look, we spoke to Glenn Jennings after the press conference the day after, and we got an official statement from Glenn Jennings. That is it. Without mentioning any names, there is no more domestic fights for Tszyu.
Well, I guess that I can mention names. So I guess that puts a pause on everyone thinking that the Zarafa fight was going to happen at the end of the year, because that's what the talk's been. So I guess that puts a stop to that.
Flat out stop to it. So that's from there. On Instagram, Danny Garcia has responded. On Twitter, Liam Smith responded. They're both two names on No Limits list.
Do you know if they're looking at bringing someone here or if teams are travelling?
I was also instructed that they are 100% trying to bring the opponent over here, so watch this space. No Limits, they break the ice by bringing over Joe Noyne for Liam Wilson. Look out for who they bring over for Tszyu. Tyson Fury has tested positive, and now the fight against Deontay Wilder for the trilogy has been postponed. So
him and Lopez have been hanging out.
They might have been. But we're waiting to see what happens there. We spoke to Joe Parker, who's in camp at the moment with Tyson Fury, and this is what he had to say.
All the way from Las Vegas, a very special interview. Joseph Parker, mate, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm currently in Las Vegas training at the moment with Tyson Fury for his upcoming fight. I'm here with my family, my wife, and my three beautiful daughters. Just had a birthday today. One of my daughters turned 3 today, so we had a good celebration here at home. I haven't been back to New Zealand since March. Just been traveling around, training. Blessed to be able to travel around and enjoy life and have my family with me. So life is good. Miss my parents back home, but I'm enjoying every day and making the most of my opportunities I have.
Going through your history, obviously everyone knows that you were the WBO title holder from 2016, 2018. But much like our Dempsey McKean, who's our #1 heavyweight in Australia, you were an African title holder.
As a professional, over 30 fights now. And with those fights, in the beginning stages, you're building up your record and you're fighting for, different belts. They look cool in the club and everything, but I did fight for that belt. Dempsey McKean, isn't he? I heard some news that he's signed up, or isn't he signed a contract, or he's flying over to the UK or fighting soon? No, did I hear wrong?
There are rumors.
He's a big southpaw. I haven't seen a lot of him, but we I do follow him on Instagram and keep in touch and see what he's doing on social media.
Now, take us back, if you could, to Manchester in May against Derek Chisora. You only had a short amount of time with Andy Lee. You seem to be a different Joe. It seemed to be, a positive step in the right direction. You seemed a lot happier. You seemed a lot more comfortable. Obviously, the fight was a fight that you needed to be interested in, and it tested you. And I thought we saw some really great results. Is that fair to say?
I think it's very fair to say. They always say a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. And I know I didn't have the longest time with Andy Lee. I'm grateful for everything that I've done with Kevin and the team that we had in Las Vegas and what we achieved, fighting around the world, different regional bouts, championship of the world. But I thought it was time for a change, a positive change, and seeking advice, I called Tyson Fury and he told me that Andy Lee would be a perfect trainer for myself. So we had, when I flew to Ireland after the Junior 5 fight, I had about 6 weeks or 5 or 6 weeks of Andy, just trying to, and he changed a few things. He didn't want to overcomplicate it and didn't want to change too much, but he saw things that I needed to work on, little things that he thought will help me with the Derek fight. If I have longer time with Andy and longer time with Tyson, that things are heading in the right direction.
Are there talks of that fight happening again?
there are talks with the fight happening again. They want a rematch, and I'll take it in a heartbeat. I mean, like you mentioned, it's at his age, there's only one way that he can fight, and it's the way that he's been fighting all his career. And I feel that he can get fitter, he can get stronger, but it's gonna be the same style, same come forward, throw big bombs, try and catch you. The only reason why I thought the fight was close because we're fighting in the UK, and then you have people in the stadium saying it was so close, and you start questioning yourself, like you did enough to win, but you start going, it wasn't that close. Yeah, so I think that's the reason why we thought it was a close fight, because everyone around us was saying it was a close fight. And the great thing is that I haven't really watched it back yet, but Andy and I will sit down and watch it back and see what we have to work on. In boxing, there's always new things to work on, and there's always things to improve. And I guess that's the exciting part, because now that I'm with a new trainer and a new team and a new environment, there's a lot more that I can learn and pick up on. And, just being here with Tyson Fury and his camp, seeing how he operates, seeing what he does, that's learning in itself.
You look happier, you look healthy, and obviously, by the way you're talking, you're in a great state of mind. There must have been a lot of inner work there, and you've come out the other side, and you're looking fresh for it.
Oh, listen, I think that's 100% correct and true. I feel happy. Life is good. Life is a blessing, and I'm in a blessed position, and I'm pretty in a position where a lot of fighters want to be. And I'm here, so I'm going to make the most of my opportunity, and I want to give it everything I have for the next 3 to 4 years. But I'm happy with my new camp, happy with my new trainer. I don't know.
How have you bonded with Andy Lee? Bring us up to speed with that.
He's very nice outside of the ring. Outside of training, he's funny, he's relaxed. We tell jokes, laugh, have fun. But when we get into the training, it's a different story. He's very strict. So it's our relationship is great outside of the gym and in the gym. And I feel like if we keep working with each other, with more camps to come and more fights to come, it'll only get better and better and stronger.
So he's just honing you, sharpening this tool.
He's just sharpening, and he's here with me in Vegas at the moment. And Tyson Fury flew him in from Ireland, flew him in to be part of camp, and he's like the assistant coach. So now that he's here in camp with Tyson, him and I are going to be doing a lot of work every day after Tyson's training sessions. All
right, now the fun viral videos, Kerry Russell TV. They are some of the best things I've seen come out of boxing. I just watched the Forrest Gump video again. I thought it was amazing. And the fact that you were the drill sergeant and Bubba instead of Forrest, absolutely brilliant. I love those videos. Is that something you want to do more of?
I want to give acting a go in the future. I got given an offer after those videos of doing some sort of movie in the UK or being involved in a movie, but I want to focus on my career first, boxing career, give it everything I have, and then if an opportunity does come in the future, I'll take it. It's always good to try different things, and I don't know, life is a journey.
Now, Style Magazine. Yeah, we saw you on the cover of Style Magazine. You're looking fresh and fit at the moment. Is that something that you wouldn't mind doing again as well? That was a very, very serious pose.
I think after boxing, I'll try anything and everything. It's a adventure, a journey. Make the most of it.
It's super exciting to hear that you're back and that you're in a happy place. I've been a fan. I've been following you for a while. And the fact that the Gypsy King says that you're good enough to come into camp with him tells me nothing but good things. So again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me on as a guest, and keep in touch. Send me that Dora after this. It'd be good to see.
I will indeed. That's my highlight reel right there. All right, brother. I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care. See you soon.
You too.
Bye.
We're yet to see what happens with Joe Parker, but there we have that great interview with him. He's very comfortable over there in Las Vegas at the moment. He's got his family over there. He's training hard with Andy Lee. And it's so good to hear that he actually rang Tyson Fury and said, if you could recommend a trainer for me, who would it be? Tyson Fury recommending Andy Lee. Speaking of Teofimo Lopez, Triller announced that they could possibly be looking at the match with George Kambosos for all the titles here in Australia in October. Teofimo Lopez's manager coming out on Twitter saying that if they had to fight in Australia, they would relinquish the titles and continue to fight in America.
That's big. That's big calls both ways. Can Triller do that? Can they make him fight in Australia?
Not sure what they've got there in the way of contracts and what the contract stipulates. But look, not a bad statement. Definitely raise some eyebrows over here.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge if it happens. But I mean, I would hate to see him relinquish the belts and it become like they become vacant belts that George fights for because it's not as exciting.
So he's doing a lot of family time away. He's there with Dad Jim. But Triller, you know, talking Australian waters, much like Matchroom and Top Rank have this year. Who comes first? We wait and see. The big news out in the last couple of weeks is the trilogy has been announced. Andrew Moloney, Joshua Franco. We caught up with Andrew and Jason today as they prep to fly out this week, and both boys very excited. Andrew Moloney, Oklahoma, 14th of August. The trilogy, Redemption, Joshua Franco. You've been looking for this fight. Now it seems like it's come up very quickly. How ready are you?
Yeah, I'm more than ready. I've been training really hard for a long time now. We've been planning this fight originally for April, kept getting pushed back, but I've been in camp the whole time and stayed focused on the job at hand, and we've known about this date for a long time now. It's just been announced to the public, but we've known about it and more than ready to go on August 14.
What's this trilogy mean to you?
Oh, everything, mate. This is to me, this is what I've put my whole life into for the last 18 years. I've dedicated my life to this sport of boxing, and this moment, this one fight, would make everything I've sacrificed over those years worth it. To have my hand raised and become world champion again, and to start setting up the future for my family.
The WBA Super Fly title, it deserves to come home to Australia.
Absolutely, it should have come home last November, but they took it away from me then, so I've used this time over the last 8 months to make sure that they can't do that this time, and to prepare as good as I can and fight the best I ever have in my whole life, and to make sure that I come out with that belt around my waist.
Did it matter that Bob Arum wanted to take it out of Nevada and take it to Oklahoma, or it wouldn't matter where it is, you're just ready?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, maybe it does matter where it is, as we saw last time around, but yeah, thankful it's not going to be in Nevada this time, and hopefully they give us a fair shake in Oklahoma. Would have loved for this fight to be in Australia, but with the COVID restrictions, it just wasn't possible. So back over to the States, and just got to hope that Oklahoma give us a fair shake.
You're obviously expecting a different Franco again. You were a different Andrew in the second fight, but you're not leaving any stone unturned when you get over there. You're going to have quality sparring partners and finish out the camp, to the best of your ability.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm expecting him to be really determined this time around. I think last time he probably came in a bit overconfident and overlooking me. So I'm sure he's going to be pretty determined this time to get the win, because no doubt the last 8 months he's been carrying around that world title belt and with embarrassment, just knowing that he's not really the deserving champion, and he knows there was no headbutt in that last fight. He knows that was from a punch, and I'm sure he's been walking around embarrassed, and I'm sure he's going to have a point to prove this time around, but so do I. I've thought about that fight every day for the last 8 months, and I just can't wait to get my hands on him and get in the ring and to come home with that world title.
You reckon the monster's living in his head rent-free? You reckon you're haunting him?
Yeah, 100% I am. Yeah, no doubt. He looks at himself every night in the mirror and knows that he's not the real champ. And we're both going to be coming hungry this time around. I'm sure it's going to be a great fight, but I'm more than confident that belt will be coming back home with me to Australia.
Jason Moloney, 14th of August, Oklahoma. You face Joshua Greer. What can you expect in this fight?
Really good fight, mate. It's a fight that I've been looking forward to, and a fight that's supposed to happen for a long time. So really looking forward to getting it on with Greer. We're supposed to fight way back in April last year, which was supposed to be my top rank American debut, and that's when the whole pandemic first hit and the fight was called off. And we sort of went on different paths, but I'm glad that we finally get to meet. It's a fight that I've really wanted for a long time, and this is sort of the start of the new chapter of my career, and I'm looking forward to starting it with a bang.
Mate, obviously very similar records. This is going to be a great test. Mate, the knuckles must be very itchy. Obviously you can't wait to get over there.
Yeah, cannot wait. And you know, it's a great fight for me. I think he's rated number 4 in the world at the moment, so it's a good scalp for me. It's a good win to come back, make a big statement and show that I'm serious and put me right back in the mix for another world title shot.
Now, we saw a little bit of back and forth on social media. It hasn't been too much more of that, but...
Nah, look, I think we've both got respect for each other. We're both the sort of guys that will fight anyone, which I do respect him for that, and I respect him for stepping up to the challenge because he's coming off a loss and a draw, and you know, I'm coming off a loss too. So the thing that makes this a great fight is there's a lot on the line. You know, a loss for either of us is going to be a major setback, and the win for whoever it is will put him right in the mix for a world title. So there's a lot on the line. I know he'll be hungry, but not as hungry as me.
What do you expect from him when it comes to game plans?
Oh, I think he's a really good fighter, but I think he's the sort of fighter that, for myself, if I want to be a world champion and you know, achieve the dreams and goals that I've got, he's the sort of fighter that I've got to beat, and I think I will. I think I'll do it very impressively, and I think I'll stop him.
Like you were saying, obviously you're coming off a loss as well. He's coming off a loss and a draw. What kind of Jason Moloney are we expecting?
Yeah, this is the new chapter. So you know, I learned a lot from my loss in 2018 to Rodriguez, and felt like I came back a new fighter after that, and got in a good role and got myself up to the number 1 position in the world, and then got the opportunity to face Tszyu, obviously. And even though it didn't go my way, I learned a lot from that fight, and I feel like I'm a lot more complete fighter. And this is the new start of my career, a new chapter where I'm going to start dominating. Now I've learnt my lessons, but it's time to put it all into practice, show what I'm really made of, and get my hands on a world title.
Mate, we'd love to see a world title coming back with you at some stage as well. Jason Moloney, the country's behind you, obviously, as well, and we can't wait to see you go over there and put on a great performance in Oklahoma.
Yeah, appreciate it, mate, and yeah, thanks for the support, and look forward to doing everyone proud over in America on August 14.
That horrible decision of a headbutt when it was an obvious jab, which robbed Andrew of his opportunity of getting that title against Joshua Franco.
The third one, I think it's going to be exciting. Like, Andy went back to the drawing board and worked on things and brought it to the second fight. Franco might do that this time. It's going to be a great fight.
Absolutely, for the WBA Super Flyweight title in Oklahoma on the 14th of August. It's not far away. It's going to be a cracking fight. Top Rank going to work. Jason Moloney on the same card against Joshua Greer. Jason not fighting since he lost at Naoya Inoue. Looking to make a comeback here. Josh Greer, a great opponent to do that.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very, like, it's an evenly matched fight. So I think Jason will have that extra drive. Obviously, he's got his brother on the card. They just work so well together that I think they're both going to perform.
This is going to be a cracking fight. Great to see Jason back in the ring, and look, hoping for a big fight and a statement. But look, a lot happening on the scene, and we're looking forward to covering it all. I'm Rob Scheif, and you're watching Before the Fight.